They say Stroud is a place of craft and colour, a town whose cloth once clothed soldiers across Europe. But the valleys that powered its mills and the houses that rose from its wealth are also filled with shadows. From an unfinished Gothic mansion to haunted mills and phantom riders, Stroud is a place where industry and tragedy walk hand in hand. Welcome to Ghosts of the Cotswolds. Stroud lies at the meeting point of 5 valleys: Painswick, Slade, Frome, Chalford and Nailsworth, a natural crossroads that shaped its destiny. In the 17th and 18th centuries, Stroud became one of the centres of England's woolen industry. Its rivers turned the wheels of cloth mills, and its dyes gave the world Stroud's scarlet, a colour worn by soldiers across continents. But prosperity came with hardship. Mills claimed lives, children laboured long hours, families lived and died within sight of the smoking chimneys. And where there is suffering, there are stories that linger. Ghosts walk here, not only in the lanes of the town, but deep in the valleys that surround it. Few buildings in Britain inspire as much unease as Woodchester Mansion. From the outside, its honey-coloured Cotswold stone rises like a Gothic dream. Step closer, and the illusion fractures. Inside, staircases climb into nothing, doorways open into empty air, roof beams hang unfinished. It is a house abandoned mid-construction in the 1870s, when workers suddenly downed tools and never returned. Legends swirl around its halted construction. Some say a series of accidents drove men away. Others whisper of dark omens, visions, or a curse. What is certain is that the house was left in limbo, a hollow shell where light and shadow play tricks on the eye. But it is not only architecture that unsettles visitors. The mansion is famed as one of the most haunted places in Gloucestershire. Visitors report monks gliding silently through the chapel, their faces hidden beneath hoods. Dark figures have been glimpsed in the upper rooms. In the cellars, a tall shadow has been seen moving where no person stood. Even outside, horsemen are said to appear and vanish in the parkland. In recent decades, paranormal investigators have made Woodchester a focus. Television crews recorded sudden drops in temperature, equipment failing, and voices captured on tape. Tour guides tell of visitors fainting, overcome by dread. For many, Woodchester Mansion is a place where the unfinished is eternal, a home abandoned by the living, but not by the dead. The valleys of Stroud once echoed with the thunder of mills. Water wheels churned, gears clattered, looms beat out a constant rhythm. This was the heart of the woolen trade. Mills like Longford, Stanley and Dunkirk gave work to thousands, producing cloth that reached the world. But the same rivers that powered the machines also claimed lives. Children slipped into the water. Workers were caught in wheels. Families endured grueling hours, their lungs filled with dust, their hands raw from labor. Perhaps it is no wonder that the mills are said to be haunted. At Longford's mill, footsteps echo long after the last worker left. At Stanley Mill, shadows move across upper floors though no one is there. Visitors report the sound of looms clattering, faint and distant in buildings long silent. At Dunkirk Mill, now partly a museum, guides have spoken of sudden chills, machinery creaking as if under invisible strain, and a sense of being watched. For some, these are echoes of industry, memories imprinted in stone. For others, they are restless spirits of men, women and children whose lives ended in the service of cloth. The coaching roads that cross the Stroud valleys have their share of legends. One of the most chilling is that of the Headless Horseman. Travellers on the lanes between Bisley, Minchinhampton and Stroud have told of a rider appearing suddenly at night, a dark figure mounted on a great horse but with no head upon his shoulders. The apparition gallops silently, sometimes passing straight through those who stand in its way. In stormy weather, the horseman is said to ride faster, as if fleeing some unseen pursuer. Local tradition links him to a coaching accident centuries ago, when a rider was decapitated on the road. Others say he was a smuggler, caught and executed, condemned to ride forever. Whatever his origin, the legend endures. On moonless nights, when mist blankets the commons, locals still speak of hoofbeats in the dark, a warning that some roads are not empty, even when they seem so. Not far from the mansion lies Woodchester Park, a secluded valley of lakes, woods and ruins. Before the grand house was begun, this was the site of a medieval priory. Though the stones are long gone, the monks who once prayed here are not forgotten. Walkers in the park have reported a figure in brown robes moving silently between trees. The apparition is often seen near the lake where the priory once stood. Witnesses describe a sense of peace mingled with sorrow, as though the monk remains bound to his devotions. Some believe this spirit is a guardian watching over the valley. Others see him as a remnant of the dissolution of the monasteries when priors and monks were driven from their homes. Whatever the truth, the monk of Woodchester remains part of the valley's story, a reminder of the faith that once shaped this land. In the 19th century, a convent was established in Stroud to serve the poor and provide education. It stood for decades, a place of faith and charity, but even holy walls can hold shadows. Staff and visitors have spoken of a ragged figure seen drifting through the grounds, a man gaunt and weary, his clothes torn, his face hidden. Some say he was a servant mistreated, others that he was a pauper buried without dignity in the convent's shadow. Those who encounter him describe sudden chills, doors opening on their own, and whispers in empty rooms. Though the convent has changed purpose over time, its atmosphere remains heavy, as if the sorrow of one forgotten soul still clings to the stones. For centuries, Stroud's valleys have been dotted with inns and taverns, places where travelers rested, merchants struck deals, and locals gathered. One of the oldest is the Bear Inn at Rodborough, a 17th century coaching inn that still welcomes visitors today. The Bear is said to harbour more than hospitality. Landlords have reported footsteps crossing empty rooms after midnight. Glasses move without touch. Some guests describe waking to see a figure standing at the foot of the bed, only to vanish when lights are lit. A few even speak of phantom drinkers, seated in corners with tankards in hand, fading away into the shadows. The inn remains lively, its history celebrated, but beneath the laughter, there lingers the weight of centuries, and the sense that some patrons never truly checked out. Stroud is a town of contrasts, beauty and industry, colour and shadow. Its 5 valleys carried wealth to the world, but also hardship and loss. From haunted mansions to spectral monks, from mills that echo with unseen workers to inns where old patrons remain, the ghosts of Stroud remind us that history is never silent. In these valleys, the past still walks beside the living. If you enjoyed this journey into the haunted heart of Stroud, why not explore our episodes on Tetbury, Prestbury, Bybury, or Chipping Norton? Each has its own chilling tales waiting to be told. Please subscribe to this channel to be alerted to the next episode of Ghosts of the Cotswolds.